Okay, so let's talk a little bit about 10-6-10 as a rep scheme and how it applies to the leg extension. We'll talk about what it is, why we're doing it. We'll watch a little bit of it, and then you guys can go on your way. And so what is a 10-6-10 rep scheme? Essentially, it is a 10-second pause at the top, followed by 6 full range of motion reps, ideally to failure, and then 10 partial reps at the bottom, so the bottom half. And so what's the point of doing this? The 10-6-10 leg extension is a good opportunity to be super efficient with one set, and it's also a good representation of the strength curve of a muscle. Essentially, our muscles will fatigue first in their fully shortened position, and we will be able to continue working in more lengthened positions. If you have no idea what that means, imagine you're sitting down for this leg extension, and I tell you, just go ahead and do as best you can for as many reps as possible until you're so tired that you literally cannot move the pad at all. Well, what would happen is you would do full range of motion reps all the way up until you got too tired to do that, and you could do the first 95 and then 90% and then 85% and 80%, and eventually you would work from the top down or from the fully shortened position to more lengthened positions. You would fatigue first the ability to get your quad fully shortened at the top. That would be the first thing that you wouldn't be able to do, but you could continue working in the bottom range. And so a 10-6-10 is a fun way to kind of emulate that and work the muscle maybe, we could say, very efficiently with one set. And so we do a 10-second pause at the top, which fatigues the short position. And then we do full range of motion reps to fatigue the whole range. And then we do partials at the bottom to fatigue the more lengthened position. Now, what I will say is this 6 is where people get tripped up. 10-second pause at the top and a 10 partials at the end. Everybody gets that. This middle set needs to be to complete full range of motion failure. So when you cannot lock out your knees at the top anymore, you are done. Now, when you are putting your weight in for this, when you are guessing at your week 1 weight for this, you're not really going to know what the weight is going to be to make this perfectly work out. And so let's say you pick 50 pounds and you do your 10-second pause at the top, and then you know that you need to go to failure, but you get to rep number 6 and you can keep going. You can do 7, you can do 8, you can do 9. I need you to do that. Whatever happens, this middle set needs to be to failure. If it takes you 10 reps or 12 reps or 15 reps, it must be to full range of motion failure. And then after you are done with your full range of motion failure set, you will do 10 little partial reps. It'll make a little bit more sense when we watch it. But the biggest mistake people make is they stop at 6. I don't want you to stop at 6. I want you to go to failure. Ideally, it would be 6. And so if you do 12 reps in your first week, then you will go heavier next week because obviously you want to get closer to 6. So let's take a look at what it looks like and then we'll talk about it. So we begin with a 10-second pause at the top. Now this is not a passive hold. I am squeezing, I am flexing, I'm trying to break this machine going upward. My quads are flexed. This is an active hold. I'm not just sitting here. You can see it's burning. Then we do 10 or 6 full range of motion reps to failure. Now I know that this is probably a good weight for me. I've been doing this, but it's also a form video, so maybe I got it wrong, whatever. No matter what, this set will be taken to failure. If it's 6, great. If it's 8, great. If it's 12, great. No matter what, it is to failure. Now, when I am done, I'm going to begin these partial reps, where I'm doing the bottom maybe 2/3 of the movement, bottom half of the movement, bottom 40% of the movement, and I'm going to do 10 more partial reps. And so it is a 10-second pause at the top, and then a set to full range of motion failure, and then 10 more partial reps. Now, ideally, that set to failure in the middle is 6 reps. But if it takes you more, that is okay. Just go up and load next week and get it closer to 6. Now, your progression for this will be very likely just each week trying to add a tiny bit of load and survive the set. Last thing I'll say on this should be hell. This should be an extremely painful, maybe the most painful set you've ever done in your entire life, but we are only ever going to do one of them. And so it should be diabolical. It should be a true emptying of the tank. And so that's the last I'll say on that. It should be really, really tough.